Hi, this is the third video that I have taken of the same topic, and hopefully the microphone is actually working now because this is a new computer and I apparently don't know how to use it. And it is my fault because this is a new computer and apparently I have to like switch on the microphone on my keyboard, which is really strange because I'm pretty sure I did that and then it switched itself off or something like that. Anyway, yeah, it's the third try, and it looks like I actually tried a couple seconds of it with the microphone on. Looks like this one's gonna work, so this will be it. Anyway, I'm making this video because I'm dealing with something right now with my health that I feel like some people can relate to. Autoimmune conditions are incredibly common. Mine isn't, but a lot of autoimmune conditions out there are, and the one of the primary treatments for a lot of autoimmune conditions is steroids or prednisone, at least to treat the symptoms until you can get other types of treatment. And that's what I'm dealing with right now. I'm on 100 milligrams of prednisone every day, which is a very high dose. Like your natural body's cortisol level is somewhere around 10 milligrams, so it's about 10 times the body's natural level of cortisol, which is also what uh, makes you generate fat, which is part of the problem. So you can see with my face, it's very round, and it's called steroid moon face. And basically, people who are on steroids usually develop it if they're on a high enough level for long enough. So with me, I I'm on 100 milligrams based on my weight, like that's the level that it should be at, and it it causes you to fill out, like, kind of redistribute fat in places that you wouldn't normally. So like I have like almost jowls, like the edges of my face have these like fat pockets on them. You also get it kind of right here, like below your eyes. It fills in below your eyes so that if you have high cheekbones naturally, like I do, it just like sits up there and makes your eyes look smaller. Um, and it it just makes your face rounder, like everything fills out. You get even a little bit of like extra fat around your neck. Some people get what's called like a buffalo hump, which is like fat on the back of their neck. It's never gotten horrible for me, but it's it's always possible. And on top of it, you get like just kind of, it fills out on your body in weird places too. Like you definitely get like almost like a beer belly situation, and it's really hard to even lose that weight once you get off of the steroid. The moon face goes away on its own. That's the nice part, but like the fat around your belly, you have to work that off. And anyway, I'm making this video because basically, it's really hard being somebody my age who's relatively vain, um, going through this because, and a female, in our society, we are, as much as it's really sad to say, like women are first and foremost judged on how we look. And I know to a lot of people who don't know anything about like steroids or like what it looks like on somebody, they're going to look at me and assume that one, I don't work out ever. Two, I eat really badly. Three, I probably just don't care about my health in general. And that's a hard thing, for me to deal with because it's not really true. Like, I mean, I'm definitely not going to pretend like before I got diagnosed with this that I was like some pillar of health, but I did go to the gym and I did go through periods where, even though I've always been a little bit like of a chubbier person, like I've never been this fat, like this is ridiculous. Um, and I've lost weight on my own multiple times in my life by just, changing my diet and my lifestyle. And I've done things that, that um, it's obvious that I, care about my health. And this is kind of like it's a big sign on my face suggesting that I don't all the time. And people don't really know how to like interact with you when this happens because there's people that they knew me for a while with like, normal looking face without all these weird like, you know, jowls and just fat. And one day, like, that's what the way the steroid moon phase works, is kind of just like one day it shows up. It's not like gradual, really. And so one day it just showed up, and it happened to show up on the day that I had class, one day of the week that I had class. So I went to school, and I'm like walking around, and people are like looking at me weird, and I'm just like, what is going on? Today seems weird. And I didn't like, you know, I'm 29 years old, you know, so I've gone through some of my life already, and I'm not quite as insecure as I used to be, like, you know. So the fact that people were looking at me weird, I wasn't immediately like, oh my God, like, what's wrong with me? I was just like, what's up? Is there something on my face? Like, and then I went to class, and I noticed that people that I even had like actual relationships with were having trouble like interacting with me, and it was just like very awkward. And I was like, okay, there's really something else going on today. So I went to the bathroom and kind of like, you know, like I looked at my face, and I realized that it had puffed up, and that's what was going on. And I was just like, oh, it happened, you know. And it really sucks because I've been on prednisone 2 times before since I got diagnosed, and the first time this happened, the second time it happened, this time I really, really tried hard to do anything that I could possibly think of to make it not happen. You know, I changed my diet. I really limited my sodium. I was working out a lot. Was trying to drink more water. Um, all these things, you know, I was limiting like dairy and stuff. I wasn't really eating that as much as you know, and people say that, you know, veganism can help, or that autoimmune protocol diet can help, like, um, but at the end of the day, nothing that I did aside from those other things helped, and I ended up with the steroid moon face. I don't know, I'm a little bit bloaty when it comes to my stomach, but I still have managed not to gain like any sort of massive amount of weight. But it's only been about 2.5 months now, and I probably have like 4 more at least. But the good thing is that the months towards the end there are supposed to be like a lot lower dose of prednisone, so it's not going to be as like horrible side effects. But right now is like, it's going to be the worst right now, so I'm trying to get through this part. But basically, I'm making this video because I know that there's a ton of people out there that must be, you know, struggling with the prednisone and struggling with the moon phase. And if you're a girl and if you're young, it's really hard to sit here and try to pretend that you don't care what everyone else is thinking about what you look like, because that is the way that our society is engineered, is to kind of like put a lot of definition and emphasis on what women look like and what we have to offer visually. And it's very isolating to, you know, have to deal with this that way. And I'm sure even for men it's hard, but like for women it's just a little bit different. And I just want to, you know, let girls know out there who might be going through the same thing, or women, you know, it doesn't just stop because you get older. But I think as you get older, you develop a little bit less care for what other people are thinking. And also, you know, eventually a lot of people, they get their families, they have their kids, they have husbands, they have the support system there. When you're younger and you're kind of in things alone, it's a little bit harder. Like, I have a boyfriend, and, you know, he tries to be as supportive as he can. I have some family that's able to be there, but honestly, most of them, they're not like a support. So it's just, you know, you're in it alone a lot when you're younger. And so I just hope that this video will help someone know that they're not in it alone, because there are other people out there like me who are struggling through it and just trying to make it. And I haven't put, you know, a lot of information about my condition and like my story getting diagnosed and stuff in this video, just because you know, if anybody wants to see that, it's a very interesting story, just because, you know, my condition, it's like 1 in a million people have it. It's very rare. I had no idea how rare it was when I got diagnosed, and I didn't even know for probably years how rare it was. But it's something that, you know, they're doing more and more research into and whatever, and it's interesting. But it was definitely a challenge and definitely changed my life. So if anybody wants to see that story or the video of how I was diagnosed and what, you know, the path was that, you know, I went down after that, I'd be happy to make that video later. But for now, this was just about, you know, the steroid moon face and how, you know, coping with it, how it feels, what it looks like, and I hope that, you know, for people that don't know anything about steroid moon face, maybe there's something in this video that will allow you to think twice about judging someone who you see who might look like they're just like a fat ass or like not really like, you know, taking care of themselves, and think maybe there might be something more going on there than you know, because it's always possible. Like, you know, I could have been that person years ago looking at someone thinking, damn, like all they have to do is like go to the gym or like stop eating so many freaking donuts. But at the end of the day, like I eat super healthy now. I eat a lot of spinach. I eat like, you know, salmon for dinner. I eat freaking eggs for breakfast. You know, it doesn't matter. It's just gonna look like this for a while. So, yeah, I wish everybody the best, and I hope to hear from you guys, you know, some comments or likes or anything just to show that you got something out of the video or you read or watched it. And it was nice to meet you guys, and have a good night.